All right, so if you clicked on this video, it's because you want to know how I lost 40 pounds and went from this to this. Well, I know the secrets. I got the gems right here in my head, and I'm going to transmit them to you right now. So what am I waiting for? Let's get this show started. Welcome to my channel called Inspirational Advice. And on this channel, we talk about being the best version of yourselves. So first, let me send you this. Strength, power, excellence. Because I want you guys to be the best version of yourselves. And that's why you're watching this video, right? You want to know how to lose weight and how to do it easily. Because it is surprisingly easy. Now, the quick answer is I lost the weight doing intermittent fasting. But what the heck is that? Well, let me break it down for you. So I'm not going to give you the dictionary definition of intermittent fasting. There's plenty of other boring channels where you can discover that. On this channel, I talk to people like they're my friends. So I'm going to tell you like if you were my friend here in my home, which you kind of are. So this is basically what it is. Intermittent fasting is a way of reprogramming the way you eat throughout the day. Instead of having 3, 4, or 5 meals a day, which seems to be the norm now in America. It's like you wake up, then you have a snack, then you have lunch, then you have a snack, then you have dinner, and then you have dessert or a snack, and then maybe even a late night snack before you go to bed. That's madness. That's craziness. That's gross. In this country, America, we've all kind of been brainwashed by big agra to never feel any hunger. You know, that's like the worst thing that could ever happen to you, for you to actually have a hunger pang. In fact, we're always told, oh, carry a granola bar in the car, you know, for an emergency. An emergency? What, a hunger pang? That's an emergency? No, that's madness. But I don't want my blood sugar to drop. But that's the key, dummy. That's what kickstarts the body's, you know, natural way of extracting energy from the body. Your blood sugar drops, then the body's like, oh, he needs energy. Where are we going to get this energy? Then it starts tapping the fat reserves. That's the natural way. And that is the keystone of intermittent fasting. So let me get deeper into it now. People always ask with intermittent fasting, why do I have to go these long periods where I can't eat anything or drink anything? Well, the thing is, when you're hungry and you eat a meal, like let's say you have a hamburger, and you eat it, and that food, it's going to go to your stomach, and then it's going to get processed by the body. And approximately 5 hours after you've eaten the burger, you've kind of extracted all the energy you can from the burger. And what happens then is the body's then like, oh, we need more energy. We need more energy. Let's send hunger pangs from the brain to the stomach, and let's make Moises hungry. Let's have him feed us pizza now. But the thing is, if you don't give in to that feeling, to the pizza feeling, then the body starts sending you more signals and making you even hungrier. But then after a while, you'll notice that the hunger will go away. Now, why is that? Because eventually the body gives up and is like, oh, damn, he's not going to give us any pizza. Well, his brain still needs, you know, energy. His muscles still need energy. Because, you know, your heart is beating, you know, 24/7. The body processes are still going on. The brain consumes at least 20% of all the calories that you consume through food. You're a machine, and you're always on, even when you're sleeping. So when you don't feed it food, then the body's like, well, not to worry. You know, he has a few extra pounds on him, or I used to have a few extra pounds on me. And we'll just tap into those fat reserves. And that's why you can't eat for a certain amount of time. And there's different schedules to intermittent fasting. I'll list them now. So there's one called 16-8, which means you fast for 16 hours and then you have an 8-hour eating window. There's one that's 12-12, you fast for 12 hours and then you have a 12-hour eating window. That's like for people that are just dipping their toes into the intermittent fasting world. And then there's one that's 24, where you fast for 20 hours and then you have a 4-hour eating window. And then there's Omad, that stands for 1 meal a day. There are people that do intermittent fasting every day, or they do it once a week, and for 1 day a week or every day. Like I think that Jack Dorsey, the head of Twitter, he does Omad, and he only eats once a day, but it's like one big meal, and it's almost impossible to overeat, because when you only have one big meal a day, your stomach will naturally shrink after a while. So even if you wanted to stuff, you know, like 10 Big Macs into your stomach, you couldn't. You would like explode. And there's countless other schedules. And if you do intermittent fasting, you'll find the schedule that works best for you. Now, the easiest way and the way I started doing intermittent fasting was I was like, okay, so I'm going to do this intermittent fasting. I'll eliminate breakfast because that for me, that would be the easiest thing to do. And then I'll try to eat as lunch as late as possible. And trust me, at the beginning, it's hard. Like skipping breakfast, that was easy. But trying to not eat lunch at like 12, that was hard. And then just pushing lunch to like 1, oh God, that hour between 12 and 1, that was torture. It's because, you know, your body, it's used to a routine. But guess what? The body adapts. Oh, that's right, I forgot to say. So I started with the 16-8. I would fast for 16 hours and then have an 8-hour eating window. That was my entry level fasting regimen. And so I would have my first meal at 1, and then I would have dinner at like 7 p.m. And I started noticing the weight started coming off. Like within the first week, I was already like losing 1 pound, and I was like amazed. I'm like, oh my God, this is working. And you got to remember, I was doing zero cardio, zero running. You know, it was just my body doing its thing. You know, it's called autophagy. Autophagy comes from the Greek word meaning to eat oneself. Yes, your body's basically cannibalizing itself. It's eating its fat reserves, but that's what it's designed to do in those conditions. And let me make this clear. Autophagy is not the same as starvation. Starvation is when you have no fat reserves at all in your body, and then the body has no choice but to eat the muscles of your body. That's true starvation. Anybody that's like at Disneyland and didn't have breakfast and is like, I'm starving. No, you're not starving. You're just being a brat. If you watch that show Naked and Afraid on Discovery, you can tell, like they get these people, and it's more apparent with the guys, because I guess the body, intermittent fasting works really fast with men. And the guys, they usually have a few pounds. Some of them are fat. But then at the end of the 20-day challenge, the guys have like abs, and they didn't do anything. They're just laying there in the jungle doing nothing. I mean, yeah, some of them are building huts and stuff, but the majority of the time, they're just trying to sleep. And they end up looking kind of like fitness models. Okay, so back to the story. After about 1 week of being on 16-8, it became easy. It wasn't hard to wait till 1 p.m. to eat and then have dinner at 7. Because I used to be the kind of person that liked having dinner at 5. And so to think I would have dinner at 7 p.m., it's like, what? Am I in Europe? No, but it became easy to eat that late. And so as time went on, you know, you start getting more like confidence that, yeah, I can do this. And you start getting greedy, because I was losing like about 1 pound a week. And then I was like, well, hey, maybe I can do, you know, Omad, 1 meal a day, 1 day out of the week. And I experimented with that. And I was like, oh my God, I was able to do it. And then, you know, this is another benefit of doing the intermittent fasting. Food tastes so good when you go this big span without eating it. Like, you know how they say hunger is the best sauce? Like every, you know, lunch I had, it tasted like a gourmet meal in a fancy restaurant. Like anything that I made, scrambled eggs would be like, oh my God, this tastes so good. It really makes you appreciate food when you're not constantly stuffing your face with it, you know? And guys, you got to remember, it doesn't matter what race or country you're from. Way back in time, we all lived in tribes. And when we did that, you know, it was feast or famine. It wasn't this access to food that we have in modern times like it is now. You know, before, the men would go out and hunt, and they'd kill a deer or something and then bring it back, and there'd be a feast for like a few days. Then they consume it, and then there's just like berries and nuts for the next, until the next kill. And that's the way the human body is designed, feast or famine. It's not designed to be fed constantly. And the thing is, when you eat constantly, you raise your blood sugar. And when blood sugar is elevated and glucose levels are high, the autophagy can't take place. Your body can't start eating itself when it's constantly, you know, full of glucose in it. It's like, why does the body have to tap into the fat resources? I mean, it already has sugar in it. There's no reason for it. But when you start fasting, then the body's like, okay, it's time to get to work. We need resources for that big brain he has. and that's when the fat loss happens. So if you're eating constantly, and I see these fitness videos where they're like, you should eat 5 times a day to raise your metabolism. No, what that's doing is raising your blood sugar, and it's aging you faster. Because when the body's constantly working, when the digestive system is constantly working, that's taxing your body. That's like having another motor that's running, along with the heart, along with the brain. And it's just gonna age you faster. So yeah, if you wanna get old fast, eat 5 meals a day. And another thing is, like, when you do intermittent fasting, it just frees up your time. You don't have to do so much shopping. You save money. And that's why, you hear people poo-pooing on intermittent fasting, because there's really no money to be made. Because I'm not asking you to do more. I'm asking you to do less. Put the fork down. That's all you have to do. You don't have to buy a gym membership. You can do this yourself. All right, back to the story. So I started the intermittent fasting in September of 2018. And so September, October, November, December, it was like Christmas time. And still nobody was saying, oh, you look thinner, or anything. But I could tell I was thinner. And it wasn't until January of 2019 that everybody was like, wow, you've lost weight. You look good. And you know what? You feel good. You have more energy when you do intermittent fasting, because your body's not allocating all that energy to digestion. That energy actually goes to, like, yourself, like your brain. You feel more alert. You don't feel sluggish. Because, I used to be one of those guys that I would eat and then I would feel like so full that I'd be like, oh, I'm so full. I'm tired. I need my TV time. I need my iPad time. And it's like, food is supposed to give you energy, not take it away. But now I had real energy. And now in January, I was like, oh my God, I've lost this weight. I feel good. I'm going to join a gym. And I ended up joining the gym in February of 2019. And then I started working out. And then I noticed, oh, this feels good. I guess this endorphin nonsense is true. And I started working out, and I kept just transforming my body, and it just got easier and easier, because then you start seeing results, and that makes you want to keep going. You're like, oh my God, like look at this. I can see this. Like, it just gives you more desire to better yourself when you see the small results. So eventually I got to a weight I liked, and I kept going to the gym for like another year. And then COVID hit last year in March, and the gyms closed down, and I was like, what am I going to do? I can't work out anymore. Well, guess what? I discovered I don't actually need a gym. I bought some gymnastic rings, hooked them up to a pull-up bar that I also bought because of COVID. And I don't ever plan to go back to the gym. I like the way it has developed my body using the gymnastic rings. And I like working out at home. And now I have abs, and I'm happy. But I mean, I was kind of happy before, so don't think abs make me happier. But it feels nice to post an Instagram photo with and people, compliment you on your abs. That's just your ego, right? But whatever, it feels good. Oh, I almost forgot. Yes, intermittent fasting is a physical process, but it really starts here in the mind. It's more mental. And this is something that really made me stick with it. And when I would have hunger pangs, at the beginning of the intermittent fasting, I was like, oh my God, I'm so hungry. Oh my God, I feel like I'm dying. Obviously, you're not going to die, but it feels that way. But you have to refrain and retrain your mind into transforming the hunger pang feeling into a feeling like, okay, I have hunger pangs. My body's eating itself. It's eating its own fat. And, sometimes I would go to bed hungry, and I'd be like, oh, I'm so hungry. But then I'd be like, my body's just eating itself. And when I wake up, I'm going to be thinner. And that's what you guys want, right? That's why you're watching this video. You're going to be thinner and fitter. And you know what? It'll all be worth it. It really will be. You guys, your bodies are an amazing machine. Let it work for you. Don't work against it. This is the most complex, amazing creation in the universe. Let it work for you, not against you. So stop putting so much food and raising your blood sugar so much. Just remember your cave ancestors. All right, so in summation, low blood sugar will not kill you. So don't be scared of it, guys. Second, reframe your relationship with hunger pangs. The hunger pangs just means that your body is this close to starting its activation process of burning the fat. And if you go to bed hungry, just know you're going to wake up in the morning thinner and hotter. And we all want that, right? And third, always think, what would my cave ancestors eat in this situation? chances are they wouldn't eat that much, or they would eat, healthy organic food, meats and vegetables. If we ate more like that, we'd all be a lot healthier. And lastly, I just wanted to show you a gratuitous shirtless shot just to show you that transformation is possible. I'll leave you guys the same way I started. Strength, power, and excellence. I'm Moises Amaya, and I'm out.